Hey guys, Coaster Directed, bringing you my top 10 new coasters for 2016. This is my personal favorite list that is coming for the new season. Uh, Obviously, a lot of you will not agree completely with what I will be saying in this, so make sure to leave in the comment section below what your personal favorites are for this coming season. I'd love to know. So, starting off at number 10, we have Cobra's Curse at Busch Gardens, Tampa. This is an awesome looking Mac spinning coaster. The US honestly needs more matte coasters in general, like a Blue Fire coaster, but this is a good start. So, it honestly looks awesome with the elevator lift in the Cobra, and it's just a unique coaster that Busch Gardens Tampa really needs. It needs a family coaster, and this really provides. So, moving on to number 9, we have the Joker at Six Flags Great Adventure, originally called Total Mayhem. I love the track colors on this. The green and purple really pop, really accent each other. I like them a lot more than the red and orange yellow that originally was on Total Mayhem. And I think it'll be a really good coaster, especially since I'm going to be riding it in my East Coast trip, which will be in mid-June-ish, depending. So that'll be really exciting. So moving on to number 8 is Flying Aces at Ferrari World. This is in Abu Dhabi, obviously. If you haven't known about Ferrari World and everything, it holds the record for the fastest roller coaster, Formula Rossa, and everything. So this is another coaster by Intamin for their park, and it looks to be a fantastic looking coaster. It's got a non-inverting loop, the second tallest in the world. This first tallest is going into China, one of the Wanda parks. So unfortunate that the record's immediately being stolen away, but it has a cable lift, a 51-degree cable lift, and it's 180 feet-ish. I don't know exactly what it is, but it looks to be a great coaster, and a great addition for the park in general. So, moving on to number 7, we have Wildfire at Kolmården, or however you pronounce it, I'm sorry. But this is a great looking coaster with the helix at the beginning giving you a nice panoramic shot of the terrain and following with a super steep drop. So, this looks to be an excellent RMC edition that's coming this year. So, just moving on to number 6, we have Taron, an Intamin Blitz coaster, the third of its kind. First being Maverick, second being Ice Speed, and the third obviously being Taron or Taron. I don't know how to pronounce it properly, but this one's also getting another coaster that's a mini Vekoma boomerang, which is really nice. That's going to be going like under it and interacting with it. And so that'll be really nice to see how they interact. But the theming on this is what really sets it miles, leaps, and bounds ahead of other coasters. If I was able to ride this within any short time, maybe like even next year, I would put this at probably like number 2 or number 1 because this coaster just looks fantastic. But anyways, moving on to number 5 is Mako at SeaWorld Orlando. This is a B&M hypercoaster, the first true B&M hypercoaster since Shambhala at Portaventura in 2012. So it's been a good 4 years. So this looks to be packing and so much airtime. Great ride. I love how it goes over the water. Only thing though is it uses the old style B&M trains, not the newer the stadium style seats, which are on Diamondback and Shambhala and Intimidator and Behemoth. So that's the only weird thing. I'm not sure exactly why they did it. Maybe to have a shorter station because obviously the stadium style seats are a decent bit longer than the old style. But other than that, it's still a fantastic looking ride, especially with the over the water. Like I said, that's a really great feature, and I do hope it pushes some profit and attendance boosts for SeaWorld. So moving on to number 4, we have the Joker at Six Flags Discovery Kingdom. This is an awesome looking coaster. The second coaster on this list, named the Joker, and the second with iBox track that's green and purple separately, but whatever. Six Flags, you're just weird sometimes, but uh this just seems to be a fantastic ride. It honestly does. With the 3 inversions and all of it. This was one of the earlier GCIs, so it really does seem like it'll have a very interesting layout because GCI has a ton of twistiness to it. It's not, because you can definitely tell a lot with the old RMCs, like the converted RMCs. You can definitely tell the old layout, how it was before it got RMC'd. You can see its old form. So like Colossus, it's definitely more like circular. It's more open wide than it normally is. So it's nice to see how compact and everything it is, like a traditional GCI. So on to number 3, we have Storm Chaser at Kentucky Kingdom, another RMC on this list. Fantastic coaster. This one I'm actually extremely plausible that I will be riding since it is so close to me. It's within 2 hours, and the tickets for Kentucky Kingdom are actually pretty cheap, so I may be able to get on this and get a good few spins. The drop on the barrel roll drop, or whatever they're calling it, looks awesome. It's the same style as Medusa at Six Flags Mexico, and it just looks to be an amazing improvement over the Twisted Twins. However, I have not ridden Twisted Twins before it closed down, but the airtime hill after the first drop just looks insane. It looks to have some insane ejector airtime coming out of it, and the overbank turns and everything else just looks to be a fantastic ride. Sure, the shady little whatchamacallit, the animation at first, it wasn't that promising, but it's shaping up to be one of the best of this year. At number 2, we have Valravn at Cedar Point. This is a most definite one I will be riding this year. It looks to be fantastic. At first, people are a little bit wary of it. I was a little bit wary of it, but it's really grown on me. I love it, and ever since I've been watching the construction updates and everything for it, I've just grown more and more attached to it because it just looks to be a fantastic coaster. This will be my first dive coaster. I've personally not ridden a dive coaster before, but as of this, I really am excited for this. So moving on to number 1, obviously Lightning Rod, the first launched wooden coaster in the world. The 45-mile-per-hour launch, the 206-foot lift hill, or launch hill technically, all of it, and the fake out drop in the first drop, providing some extreme airtime in all of it. The quadruple down, it just seems to be a fantastic coaster with pretty good theming, honestly. And all of it just looks very good. RMC cannot disappoint right now. All of their coasters this year seem to be complete and total hits. So, anyways, wrapping up with this video, thank you for watching. Make sure to like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. And as always, keep coasting.